Hi there, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel, Katie's Bookish Escape. Today I'm going to be doing the makeup book tag. Alright, so basically this tag, you put on makeup and then based on like the theme of what the makeup does, you pick a book that correlates with it. So the first step is concealer. So I'm going to be using the Revlon Photo Ready Pore Reducing Primer. And then the theme for the book that I needed to choose was because primer in theory is supposed to make your makeup last longer, but not really. Like, I think it just makes it look better. See, I just like put it here where my pores are. A little here. So a book that gave a lasting impression, and so that book for me is definitely the Sad and, God, I always forget like the two adjectives, but I'm pretty sure it's the Sad and Beautiful Sorrows, The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. That book, I read it over 7 months ago and I still think about it all the time. It's a mystical realism story. I guess adult just because the theme, I don't know if it's technically considered YA or adult, to be totally honest. It could go either way. But it's about this girl, Ava Lavender, who's born with wings. And it's basically her life story, her mother's life story, and her grandmother's life story. And their generations and the little ways that magic has infiltrated their life and sadness. And it's so beautiful. It's stuck with me for a long time. Okay, so next up is foundation. So the book that I was supposed to pick is a book that I think started really strong. So I'm very bad at doing my makeup and talking simultaneously, so I'm just gonna talk first and then do it. So for me, I love the Darker Shade of Magic series trilogy as a whole, but I thought the first book was so good. If this was a standalone, I would love it just as much. So that's by V.E. Schwab. Let me start putting on my foundation and talking about it. So for my foundation, I'm going to be using the Hourglass Vanish stick, and I am obsessed with this. I think it's like Light Illusion. No, that's Fire Beauty. Never mind. Okay, you gotta be careful with this because it's so pigmented. If you put too much on, it looks bad. But if you build it, it looks amazing. Alright, so Darker Shade of Magic, when I was reading it, like, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I wasn't, like, going, like, crazy into it or anything. But once, like, the action started happening and our two main characters, like, met up, pretty much, or, like, were introduced to each other, from then on, I, like, read it in, I want to say, like, 2 sittings, like, the second half. And it does start slow. Like, V. Schwab, I feel like, does have a lot of, like, slow burn is kind of her thing with the introductions in her books, but I like that for the world building and understanding how the blood magic and the Intari work. If you don't know anything about a Darker Shade of Magic, basically it takes place, it's an urban fantasy, and so there are 4 parallel Londons: red, gray, white, and black. Gray London's like our London in the late 1800s, I think, around that time. So there's no magic there. Red London has lots of magic and it's like thriving. White London is starved of magic and everyone's fighting for what's left. And Black London is closed off to the rest of the world and is basically engulfed itself in dark magic. So yeah, you follow, like, one character is one of the only people who's able to, like, travel between the parallel Londons, and another gray Londoner who's like a ruffian girl. Some people find her really annoying. I didn't really find her annoying, but I understand why people do. You don't get a Sigma flat kabuki F80 pointed at you every day, now do you? Alright, so next up is concealer. So this is a character that you want to get rid of. And it's funny because I literally planned for this video and then I saw that Clockwork Reader did it, like an updated version of hers, and she said the same person as me, which is Zara Dearborn from the Dark Artifices. She's introduced in Lord of Shadows, and she's also in Queen of Air and Darkness. Zara Dearborn. She's horrible. She's awful. Honestly, to me, like, her parallel person in the real world is Donald Trump. There, I said it. So for concealer, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is my favorite concealer that is affordable. I like it a lot. And I mostly just use it for my under eyes because who doesn't like a brighter under eye? I'm literally using my phone, that is the camera, as my mirror. So, my apologies if you're getting way up and close. And then I just use this, this came in like an Amazon cheap brush set, Emax design, but like this little brush, I like it a lot for my concealer when I don't feel like using a beauty blender. Like, so if I'm not using a beauty blender for my foundation, I will not use one for my concealer because I'm like, what's the point? And you can see like the Hourglass Vanish stick, I didn't necessarily build up all the coverage because I'm going to use a powder foundation to set, which adds coverage. Alright, I've been concealed. Hopefully let's blend it out because I can't like really see, so let me look in this mirror really quick. Yeah, looks fine. Alright, next is powder. And I don't remember what I need to have for that, so hold on. Alright, so next up is powder. So I'm going to be using a powder foundation, the It Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination. I totally bought this because the Taylor, who's one of my favorite like beauty gurus on YouTube, recommended it. And at first I was like, I don't like it, but with certain foundations, it looks great. So with this one, this combo, I mean, it's an expensive combo. I didn't put the lid back on, whoops. Awesome though. Expensive, but awesome. Alright, so I know I just talked about a darker shade of magic, but for powder, it says your favorite, like, last book in a series. This is very hard for me because typically the last book in a series, if it doesn't disappoint me, it's usually my favorite. But definitely A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. This book is so good. Oh my gosh, like, the first one and this one are so good. The second one's, like, I still gave it 5 stars. I might, like, go back with time and give it, like, 4. But, I just thought, like, the adventure was so great, the pacing was great, the conclusion was great, the characters were awesome. I was so satisfied. But, I mean, there are a lot of series that the last book is my favorite. For instance, Shadow and Bone series, what is that called? The Grishaverse series. I like Ruin and Rising. I'm using the It Cosmetics, I said that right. For the Infernal Devices, I like Clockwork Princess the most. For the Mortal Instruments, I definitely like City of Heavenly Fire because a lot of the books in that series for me were not like that high. Like a lot of them were 3 stars. But City of Heavenly Fire was like amazing. I can't believe how like I think Cassandra Clare has really become like the more she writes, the better she gets. What else is another ending? Oh. Deathly Hallows is my favorite Harry Potter book. So, yeah. Which I know, like, sometimes that's controversial. Because I know, like, the epilogue. And I have problems with the epilogue, too. But, I mean, I had so many expectations for that book. And for the most part, it didn't, like, traumatize me. Though I will say my favorite character was killed and I didn't feel like they got a send-off. So that makes me sad. And I'm really hot, so I'm going to fan myself really quick. Alright, so next is eyebrows, and I mean, are you really doing your eyebrows if you're not using an Anastasia Beverly Hills product? Like, I don't know. So I'm using the brow definer. I've also used the Brow Wiz, which I like, but that one requires a little bit more, like, being able to actually use fine motor skills, and I am not good at that. So I like this one because it's a little bit bigger and a little bit more, like, diagonal. So it already has, like, that natural shape to it, you know? No, you can't see it. See, I'm trying to do like what all the beauty gurus do, but I don't know. It's still going to my face. Alright, this one getting really close, sorry. Like, hopefully I don't have boogies. Oh, so what am I supposed to be talking about? This is, oh, a book everybody should read, because, like, everybody should have good brows, I guess. That's the point. Which, I don't even do my brow, like, I forget to do my brows a lot. But, I mean, when I do them with a full face of makeup, like, I definitely see the difference in looking, like, put together. For me, a book everyone should read is Beartown by Fredrik Backman. He is Swedish. Yeah. So I actually read this book because Morphe, I don't know how to say her last name, like Nefier. She's also on the World Hoppers channel. I saw a review, like maybe it was her favorites of 2018, and like I picked it up because I was just like, I need an adult contemporary. Like no one's talking about any adult contemporaries. I love, like, adult contemporary is one of my favorite genres, and I think the way it's a social critique about how we as a society, like, deal with, like, rape and, like, hero worship of athletes, and how do we respond when people we look up to, like, commit a crime, and how do we victim shame, and how do we, like, gang up on people who support the side that we're not on. And it has turned me into a lifelong Fredrik Backman fan. Maybe it's pronounced Bachman, but it's written as Backman, B-A-C-K-M-A-N. But I'm reading the sequel now, and it's like so hard to talk when you're doing your brows because you're like, you don't want to like ruin them. I'm reading the sequel now. I read another book of his, like, novella that was really, really good. It was basically, like, coping with, Alzheimer's. So good. So, like, I'm pretty much sure I'm gonna love anything he ever writes in my life. Next is, I'm actually gonna, like, skip the order a little bit because, like, even doing my brows there felt weird, and I know why now. So, next I would do bronzer, and bronzer's not even, like, on here, but when you're pale like me, you wear bronzer. So I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and this is from like their little collection, the Butter Collection, and it's so good. But it's just a regular bronzer shade, which is actually like kind of dark for me, but I blend it a lot, so it's fine. The light one kind of goes a little orangey, so that's good in the summer, but it's February, so, no. I don't do, like, orangey blushes unless it's summer. So I'm not going to do an orangey bronzer unless it is summer as well, to go with that orangey. And I do a little bit on my forehead out here, because I got a little bit of a 5 head, if you know what I mean. And a little bit of the double chin, because of why the hell not? Which makes me feel like I need a little bit more coverage on my chin. I totally get why, like, my makeup area is a mess, and, like, beauty gurus, and they're like, oh, everything in front of me is a mess. I understand why. Alright, so next I'm gonna do blush. So, for my blush, I'm using Milani. Milani is one of my favorite drugstore brands. This is Romantic Rose. And for this one, it's a couple that, like, makes you cringe. Sorry, my nose is itchy. So a couple that makes you cringe, and that is hands down. I was just like, oh, I got this. I don't know if anyone even ships this couple. The way I'm gonna go in with this, I got this in an Ipsy bag, and it's actually really good. Beauty Basics brush. Clary and Simon in the Mortal Instruments in City of Ashes. I guess that's kind of a spoiler. But, like, whatever. I mean, there's a love triangle, so I guess not really. Like, you know, like, something's gonna happen with all 3 of them at some point. They were just awful. Like, I was just like, sorry, let me adjust my camera. Okay, yeah, they were just awful. They were cringy. Like, I I like Simon, and I kind of, this is why I didn't like Clary. She, like, totally led him on. She was not into him. Like, get over it. Like, I understand he's your friend, but, like, if you don't like him, you don't like him, and that is okay, and you're allowed not to like him. And, yeah, and, like, she doesn't even have the balls to, like, break up with him. He does it. Spoiler alert. Sorry. God, this light is... There we go. That's better, right? Happily. So, yeah, Clary and Simon, no. I was glad when it was over. Okay, so next is eyeshadow. So I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill palette, the Morphe Jaclyn Hill, what is this one called? Dark Magic. Dark Magic palette. It's the blue one. I just stuck my finger in that shade, and I just stuck my finger in that shade. This is hard to do. So yeah, very pretty colors. I'm going to a birthday dinner tonight, so I want to have like a more like evening look. So eyeshadow is all about pretty, right? So a book with your favorite colors on it, hands down, Strange the Dreamer. This is like the most beautiful cover of all time. Also, shout out to Ava Lavender, very similar colors. I'm a Ravenclaw. These colors are Ravenclaw. They're freaking beautiful. And I just probably got makeup all over the spine of Strange the Dreamer here. Oh, no, not really. Do I have a line? No, good. Alright, so since I chose Strange the Dreamer, let's talk about it. I really liked Strange the Dreamer. I'm going in with Poof, which is this like super neutral. It doesn't even like, can't even really tell, but it helps cover up any veins on my lid. I really liked the first book, except the ending felt like rushed. And then I was like, how the hell are they gonna, I didn't see like a way out of it. I kind of wish the ending was different, if you know what I mean. I don't want to spoil it, but like, if you read the book, you know what the ending, like the character that I'm talking about, you know what happened. But I don't know. So I felt a little hesitant with Muse of Nightmares because I was just like, I don't know how they're gonna pull this off to where I'm gonna feel like satisfied. And to be honest, she didn't totally. Like, Muse of Nightmares is like 4 stars for me. Was it 4? Yeah, well, Strange the Dreamer was like 4.5 because that ending like made me, I don't know. I didn't love it. And I'm not necessarily against like sad, problematic endings, but it was just, with the pacing, it's just, I don't know. But as far as like the world of having this like dreamy, this connection through dreams, I totally love that. I mean, we're gonna get embarrassing. By the way, I'm using this transition shade, that's what it's called, and it's like one of my all-time favorite transition shades. It's very cool toned, which is good because I have cool tone skin and I do a lot of cool tone looks. I don't even know what I'm saying. Oh, okay. In middle school, I started writing a series, maybe in high school. And it was basically about these two people who, like, they were, like, best friends in their dreams in, like, this fantasy world. But they didn't even know each other in the real world. And, of course, the girl was a librarian. So it's really funny because in Strange the Dreamer, Laszlo's a librarian. But it was different, like, in the sense that, like, they couldn't remember from their dreams to their regular life. And, like, maybe I should write this book. Though I've heard, like, Joan of Arcadia, which is an old show that, like, got canceled after a season. With, what's her name? That was Tibby in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants movie. And she's also in General Hospital forever. I can't remember her name right now. She's married to the guy on Arrested Development that dresses up in blue. Names are escaping me right now. Amber Tamblyn. There we go. Amber Tamblyn. I've heard that show was like similar to this idea, so apparently I'm not like super original. But like the premise was the guy was gonna leave her notes. I had to be in high school because he was gonna leave her notes in another book I'll be mentioning called Wuthering Heights. And I'm like, how fucking like cheesy romantic can you be? Apparently I could be very, very, very I don't know how people like don't take forever to do their eyeshadow with all the blending and blend and blend. So yeah, I really love like when people connect in dreams. Like that's the thing. But yeah, I really like that idea. I'm gonna try to figure out how to fast forward this in editing, because now I'm gonna do more eye work and I have like nothing left to talk about. So the next step is liner. So I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula, I have eyeshadow all over, Physicians Formula Eye Booster in, it's supposed to be like a serum too, but I don't think so. And it's in Ultra Black, another thing that I got because Taylor told me to. I must tag her so she knows I'm like shouting her out a lot. Not that like anyone watches this video. Just kidding. You are someone if you're watching, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, so for eyeliner, I just realized I need to blend this out. But for eyeliner, they said to pick a dark and mysterious book. And to be totally honest, I haven't read that many like dark and mysterious books lately. Maybe like the Raven Boys are kind of mysterious, but I don't know. I'm not going to pick that one. I'm going to pick a classic, and I just mentioned it before, and that is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Now, God, it's hard to talk while doing this because it's nerve-wracking. Emily Bronte's book, Wuthering Heights. All the characters are horrible. But did 13-year-old me have the biggest crush on Heathcliff? Absolutely. I put eyeliner on with my eyes open, by the way, because I have hooded eyes. And if I don't, they could get real black, like real fast. Yeah. Oh, Laurence Olivier in the old version of Wuthering Heights from like 1949, I think. Or 1939. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love Laurence Olivier. For like old time actors. But, God, I hate... Okay, I feel like I could do my right eye like really well with eyeliner, and then I go to my left eye and it's just like game over. Like, no. But I love... Wuthering Heights was the only series, like, books where I'm not really rooting for anyone because they're all bad. Except, like, one of the children. I guess, like, I root for him. But, they're all just, like, interesting. I think it's a good story of, like, when you treat people like crap, like, your life's gonna be crap. I have, like, a dark spot in my eye. But, yeah, if you haven't seen if you like Wuthering Heights, or you like gothic romance, and you haven't seen the 1939, I think it's by, I think it's a Selznick. Maybe not. Shoot. That might be Rebecca that I'm thinking about. But it's really good, I think. It only focuses on the older generation. Because if you read the book, there's 2 generations. So, like, the older one's the, like, most famous. And that book only deals with the older generation. Like, it doesn't go into the younger generation story. But I love it. As a teenager, I used to think it was, like, the most romantic thing. And then they're like, I cannot live without my life. I cannot live without my soul. And now I'm like, they had the most unhealthy relationship ever. And all they did was, like, treat each other like crap. And, like, try to one-up each other. And, like, it's like, how about you just don't hurt each other? Then y'all would have been fine. I don't even know why I'm saying y'all. I'm from Southern California, born and raised. Have always been here. But, yeah. Alright, then this next step isn't in there, but when I do all my, after I do all my powders products, I use MAC Fix Plus. This stuff is amazing. It makes all your powders sync together, and it's really good if you have dry skin, especially because you can look cakey. Oh, I just hit myself with the fan. And then, oh my god, this thing, I got it at Disneyland, and it's like handmade and from Ghana, and I got it originally because I was like, oh, it's from Ghana, and I teach about Ghana, and like you never see stuff from Ghana, so I was like, I'm gonna get it. And now I just use it every day for my makeup. I haven't taken it into work to show the kids at all. Just use it for this. And it's amazing. I love it. Alright, so next is mascara. And for mascara, you're supposed to pick a long book. Long lasting. So a book that is long that you like. So I read a lot of long books, so it's not like weird for me, but I think like the first big book I ever really read was The Stand by Stephen King in 9th grade. And I haven't read it since, but I still remember a lot of the story, and a lot about the characters, and I really loved it. Though it had some like sex in it, and like little old like 14-year-old me was like, oh my god. But I really liked it. Sorry, here's my nose, in case you wanted to see it. I guess I could probably just use like a hand mirror, but whatever. You guys wanted me that close, right? Oh, by the way, this is Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. Best mascara I've ever used, personally. Some people don't like it. I don't know. I love it. So more about the stand. I just realized I didn't like say anything about it. Okay, I use a different mascara for my lower lash line, so I'm gonna use Wet n Wild Mega Wear. This is literally $1. I got it at the Dollar Tree, and it's good. It's good. So the stand is about, basically there's like this plague happening in the world, in the country, in the world. I don't know if it's in the world, but it takes place in the US. So all around the country, like, people are coming, like, down with this flu that's killing them. And there are only a certain amount of survivors. And so there's, like, a good leader who's, like, calling all, like, the good souls to Boulder, Colorado to follow her and fight against, like, the devil, who, of course, lives in, or takes place, has his headquarters in Vegas. I felt like I smeared that, but I don't know. And so you have this huge cast of characters, and I love a huge cast of characters, so like that's a good one. That's good for me. And I remember it being really long, but I was still really into it. Of course, like, certain characters I like more than others, but most of them are interesting even if you didn't like them. Alright, so last step for the book tag is lipstick. So I'm going in with this long-lasting liquid Catsuit by Wet n Wild is like my favorite. And I've bought like lip scents, and I spent a lot of money buying lip scents, and now I'm sad because this is like $6, and I like this better because when it does come off, because it's gonna come off eventually, especially if you have like oily foods, it's not like gross how it comes off. Like, it doesn't flake off, it just like comes off like a normal lipstick. But it's really long lasting. And this color is Rebel Rose. How do you talk when you put lipstick on? I don't know. We'll see. But for this one, it's supposed to be like Best Kiss. And I hate to bring up... Oh god, I totally just screwed up. I hate to bring up A Darker Shade of Magic again, but oh my god, Kel's blood magic lessons that he gives Delilah in A Conjuring of Light. Yeah, it's more than a kiss, but oh man, that one. Alright, then last step, they don't say to do this, but I'm a setting spray girl. So I'm going to use Milani Make It Dewy to make my face dewy setting spray. Alright, so that concludes this makeup book tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll have the questions linked down below, so if you want to do it, you can. Just copy and paste that. Thanks again. Please feel free to subscribe, and see you later. Bye.